Hello and a very good evening to each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks yet another unforgettable day, and we are ready to bring you something new, something exciting, and something interesting. For that, we have the news anchor, a journalist, Mr. Sharathmanu Pararachi, who's ready to continue with this workshop. And also, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you who's joining with us in this workshop. All right. Without further ado, let's step into this workshop. I'd like to invite Mr. Charithaminupur Arachi to carry on with the workshop.
Thank you very much. And I believe I'm audible and visible.
Yeah, uh, we cannot actually see you. All right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. And it's great to work along with the dear Senanayake College once again. So, just in a bit of a tense mode because I'll be reading the news tonight. So, agreed to perform the workshop as I agreed with you all. So, once again, thank you very much for the heartfelt gesture and for inviting me for this year's workshop as well. So, I see a number of participants are joined with today's session, uh, being enthusiastic to learn about news reading. And I was asked, and with my coordinator, can't remember his name, Sanjana, right? Okay, so just to touch a bit of an area with regard to the program presentation as well. Right. Okay. So I believe now I'm audible and visible to you all. Can I just get a thumbs up if I'm audible and visible both? Or a response from someone?
Yes, we can see you and hear
Right.
you.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So now here we have students who are willing to participate at one of the most prestigious competitions, trilingual media competitions, online and trilingual media competitions, the Ninnada' 2025. Right. So I would like to announce and I would like to reiterate that Ninnada, being one of the best media competitions island wide, they bring to you the most exciting experience that ever you can have from a school media entity. You have numerous competitions, you have numerous areas to perform, and you have ample of opportunities to show your talents and get involved with some sort of an exciting, a novel experience each and every year. They innovate something. All the students who are joined here are extremely privileged. So I would like to mention that at the very beginning. Right. Okay. Straight away, I will be just continuing your session for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Right. Touching the aspects of the program presentation and basically news reading, where my basic subject lies at Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation as an English news anchor. Right. Okay. Now we have somewhere around 30 odd number of students. So I'll formally start with the news reading. Right. Okay. Now, if you are listening to a lecture in a class or suppose a lesson from a teacher, believe it is a science lesson, you just learn it. You just listen to what the teacher says and you just take down notes and you get yourself prepared for an examination. At the end of the day, if you have well understood the principles, concepts, and each and every detail that the teacher has specifically mentioned, and you have practiced more and more, you will be doing well at the exam, right? So, other than that, if I just mention you, is there any other purpose of having these types of sessions, listening to them well, paying attention? Is it only the successful completion of the examination? Most of the students might be confused with that type of a thing coming out of me. What I want you in these types of workshops and getting involved with these competitions is not just you watch someone else doing these types of things. Give me a minute. Right. Okay. So, involving in these types of competitions and everything, that is the exposure that you need to get. Right. Okay. Now, if you are attending a class, your ambition is just to get higher marks at the examination. This is not like that. If you are watching something, if you are watching news, if you are attending this workshop, I would like to suggest a different way. Just take experience that as if you were to do something like this. Imagine yourself seated in the news desk, right? Might be the national news desk at Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation or any other entity, right? You imagine yourself seated there. From today onwards, you need to have that imagination, right? Don't make it something like a destination that you can't reach. Imagine that you are seated at the news desk, right? When you are seated at the news desk, imagine the exposure and the experience that you need to have, and please obtain those experience and those types of things that you need to acquire from these workshops and these types of competitions. I believe that is clear, right? Just moving it in a more comfortable manner. Don't just attend these workshops, don't just attend these competitions just to merely follow a workshop or a competition, or just to take part it, or just to obtain the participation certificate. Just imagine yourself at the news desk reading news to the general public, to the entire world, and try to absorb these qualifications, these experience, the exposure that you are getting, right? Okay, so that is how you need to start. Otherwise, like just attending a mere workshop but about news reading or this is common to news reading, program presenting, or whatever the presentation that you do, right? Common to everything. If you are just standing in front of this TV screen or computer screen or the laptop or the mobile phone and just attending this workshop or these competitions, ultimately that won't give you I mean that won't give you more strength. Just imagine that one day you have to be in this place, in this position, and try to absorb the experience and everything that you need to obtain at that moment, right? So I'm just saying like this, right? Now, when you are in a future date, in due course, if you were to sit there at the news desk, now, what are the obstacles? What experience do you need to have? That is a question. So, those types of questions can be answered very easily by attending these competitions and attending these workshops. And try to do it yourself. Otherwise, just observing something from a distant location, right? Not merely involving in this. It's like this: you need to attempt a model question paper before facing the final examination, right? You need to have that experience, that exposure. Try to attend these workshops, try to attend these competitions, and obtain and enhance the skill that you need to perform, that you need to have when you are attending the original version, seated in front of a camera, reading news for a TV station or program presentation for a TV station or any other event host or whatever, dubbing or I mean sports commentary or any other thing. I would like to mention that, right? And also, when you present programs and when you read news, there are different types of programs, but there is only one specific type of news, if I may not mistaken. I'm reiterating it in a different manner, right? Numerous types of programs is you have chart shows, you have musical evenings and musical programs, and you have religious programs, you have political discussions, you might be having any other sort of discussion, might be law, medicine, business, environment, geopolitics, whatever, numerous fields, astrophysics or whatever the big names you can you name it, we can have it, right? So there are numerous types of discussions and documentary programs and a lot of things are there. But news is just news. That means you have to present it in a formal manner where each and every person who is watching the news must be able to obtain something important, right? They need to know what is happening in the country that they are living, what is happening around the world. They need to obtain that information, right? So as a news anchor, you need to give that specific information in a very specific manner. And program presenters also, they have different categories. As I mentioned, there are different set of programs, right? When it comes to a religious program, I'm just giving these basic concepts and principles in a common manner, so that either you can become a news anchor or a program presenter at the end of the day, right? You can just proceed forward with whatever the thing that you are capable, whatever the thing that you are good with. And also remember, if you have watched news, might be in our station, the national television, Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, or Channel I, specifically for English, you might have seen in the middle of the news, there are certain interviews happening. We sometimes bring down certain guests, which is sometimes more important, and we have a small interview like thing in the middle of the news. And also sometimes we discuss the current political situation, and now with the revolution of 2022 second, I mean February 22nd, we revolutionized the Rupavahini news, and we just came out with multiple colored attire and everything. The setup, camera setup, everything was changed. So the initial days we were having a discussion day by day about the Russia-Ukraine war update. We were counting days and we were discussing with expert journalists and foreign analysts, right? So in that event, we need to have discussions and everything. So what happened? Something is loading. Is it from my end that the whiteboard is inactive? No, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So a whiteboard is being shared. Anyways, like as per the convenience of the organizing committee, right? I'm good with this. Okay. And we were used to have interviews, personal interviews, and discussions with regard to, I mean, certain world events, right? So in that event, you need to have the skill not only as a news anchor but as an interviewer, right? So these come hand in hand. So you can't just move apart one thing away from the other, right? That is my reading with regard to that, right? But you might not be able to do lottery shows, you might not be able to do chart shows, you might not be able to do some entertaining stuff. Myself, I can't do sports I can do, but I'm not doing them because my specialty is something else. I can do it, but ever, never ever I won't try even judging those students, because sometimes the students might be capable than me in doing that thing. Even I don't know much about the subject and I have not evolved in that, so that is a different thing. I can't do, I mean, hello there everyone, so how is your day going? Now we have a number of good Spanish numbers, and right, that is not my style, right? Formal interviews, discussions with guests, a medical interview, a legal interview, a business interview, and a formal discussion with regard to a certain exclusive topic, right? Might be a discussion with a respected individual, the minister, the prime minister, or the president, or an ambassador, or a diplomat, or any other person. Those things I'm good with. So you must understand what is good with you. A person who is doing a chart show might not be incapable of handling a formal discussion, but some people are there, they do everything, right? That is an exception. And sometimes now to my reading, what I want is like the news reader's personality should be the news reader, right? Earlier there were many limitations and the news readers were not even allowed to do some other programs, as per what I've heard from my senior colleagues, right? They have to filter the programs and do. Why? Because now, if I'm saying, now Lohan Ratwatta is not dead, he's still alive, right? Now today the news was circulating, former member of parliament and former, I think he was a minister also, Lohan Ratwatta passed away, right? I'm saying that he is still alive, right? In this live, this is going live everywhere, right? certain number of students who are joining, and might be like the majority, will believe what I say unless they have the first hand experience of that sudden demise of that respected individual, right? Why do you believe? Because I contain some credibility as a news anchor, and I appear in front of you in a more professional manner, right? I didn't intend to wear this tie and suits and everything, right? I want to go to news soon after this, so that's why I'm just in this attire. Otherwise, I would have stayed casual in this workshop. But anyways, I should be with a very good, pleasing, and very appealing a personality, right? Otherwise, you won't believe me. In that attire, with a good dress, right? With some neatness that you can appear, you can see, I'm just appearing in front of you. I do read news for a particular entity, and in social media or whatsoever, I have built a particular image where seems to be credible for other persons, right? Then they might believe what I say. That is what you need. You need to build the credibility. You need to have a good personality. Otherwise, like if I'm wearing an earring and just I have pierced my nose, and I'm just in front of you like doing this thing. These buttons up and just tie somewhere, or no tie, or two three buttons open, and I'm just my chain is outside, or some jewelry which is not appropriate, some colors might not be matching. If I'm in front of you, you won't even look at me. You might even go somewhere else, switch off this thing, Ninnada', what the hell that they are doing, who they have bought here, they is talking nonsense like everything. You might go, because this is the digital era. You can just simply go. You can't, you need to even stand up and go. This is virtual. You can just even this leave meeting button or whatever it is, you can just even keep it and go somewhere else and come back, have tea or whatsoever. If you need to show participation, it's a different story, right? So why you are watching this, why you are enthusiastic about this thing, you believe like that fellow who's wearing a tie might be good in certain things, and there might be certain, even just a small thing that we can absorb from him. You believe that, otherwise you won't log into this session. Because Ninna, the people, the organizers, the respected organizers, they might not be like forcing you all that this is a must to join, otherwise your participation in this competition is cancelled. Might not, right? Why? Because you believe, all right, we can just have something, even a single thing that we can learn, right? You might think like that. So I should keep that respect, and I should give that due respect to you. I should do something. That is why, because you need to become the future, right? So you have to also maintain. I don't tell you to wear branded stuff, wear expensive stuff. Depending on your level, try to buy some good quality things, but be nice, be neat and nice, right? Otherwise, like, it's not the fact that you wear every expensive thing, gold jewelry and expensive attire, whatever the thing that you wear should be branded. No, that is not what. If you can, it's okay, please do, right? Whatever the thing that you're okay with, but try to be neat, try to be nice, try to be appropriate to the situation. If I am wearing a blazer, right, and just some hanky or whatever, some blazer buttons and everything, some logos, badges, and this is odd, right? Not appropriate to the situation. If I'm saying now I want to go to the news, so that's why I'm this attire. Will I be driving with that blazer? No, that is not appropriate. Be appropriate. Don't try to show off people. Maintain the minimalistic, maintain the simple nature, so that you will be able to create a good personality, right? Just to purchase a comb, 50 60, I can't remember, whatever, you can just have that comb and comb your hair. කොණ්ඩේ පීරන්න සල්ලි යන්නේ නැහනේ, right? තියෙන එක ලස්සනට අයන් කරලා අඳින්න සල්ලි යන්නේ නැහැ. No cost, zero cost, right? I just mentioned it in Sinhala for you all to more emphasize that thing, right? Whatever the thing that you have to be neat and nice, you don't need, right? Anyways, you are having a wash. If your smell is not good when colleagues are there near you, so they might be in a different give me a second. Right. Okay. So now that is a zero cost. You can just have a wash and you can just have a clean and I mean appealing smell. I won't say just to wear expensive perfumes, but just at least some soap and just I mean in a good personality. That is the most important thing, right? Try to build an industry. Try to build a brand within you, right? Because you all are capable enough, because I have seen these number of phases in competitions, judging these competitions and doing these types of workshops. Most of the students, I have the first hand experience of working with them, right? So you all have this potential. Why aren't you taking the maximum use of it, right? And if the answer is no or whatsoever negative answer, I can simply ask, why are you here? Right? So try to build a brand out of you. Try to take the maximum use of the capabilities that you do have. Right? That is the most important thing that I want to emphasize. Right? When you're coming for the competition, also try to be nice, neat with your uniforms, properly ironed, and the hair properly combed. We don't give marks for branded stuff. We don't give marks for whatsoever the other things, but that is also a must. First impression is the best impression, right? Okay. And moving on to the news reading and program presenting, be appropriate and everything is okay and right. Okay, now I am a news anchor and you might have seen me on TV. Not myself, I have my colleagues, my senior colleagues, and even some people who are not working with our channel but for different channels and different entities, right? So if I may say, my respected senior Clifford Richards, right? And again, my respected senior female colleague Sharon Mascranius, right? Or whatever the name, there are numerous names that I can share with you, right? If someone is here, I want to be Clifford Richards. A girl, I want to be Sharon, right? Uh, if I mean we have another, I mean we can have a huge list. Right? I want to be like that. Arundas Bandaranaike, Noelin Hunter, Faisal Bonzo, right? I want to be like that. Now I'm speaking like that. Hello there, everyone. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Like, guys, you just try to imitate something. I mean, you are very uncomfortable. Don't try to. You can't be Faisal Bonzo. You can't be Clifford Richards. You can't be Arundas Bandaranaike. You can't be Sharma Screnius. You can't be Noeling Hunter, whatever. You can be you, right? Okay, we have Himasha Pereira or Himasha Pereira, right? Yes, that is his or her identity. You can be yourself, Mr. or Mrs. Miss or whatever Pereira, right? Okay, in the future. And also, don't, why I'm saying that don't try to imitate. Building the vocal quality and improving your skills is a different aspect. When you are coming to competitions, try to do the maximum, the best performance that you are capable of. Don't try to imitate someone and don't try to create a deep voice. Hello there, everyone. A very good evening and a very warm welcome to the news live on Trupavahini Channel I. Right, I am ABCD Pereira, and now let's move on to the headlines, right? And sometimes just try to create a different tonality. Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa was having a bilateral discussion with Andhra Kumar Dissanayake in a particular moment where this is not singing, this is not styling something, this is news. You have to have the icon. His Excellency, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Arnakumar Dissanayake, has met his Russian counterpart today at the Temple Trace. Following a 3-day official visit to Sri Lanka, right? You have some value, you have to give some weight. Don't try to imitate someone. Don't try to read posh English, right? Because now I have the experience. I'm not a well versatile person in English, right? Because I don't like to overestimate me. I'm just I try to become always simple. I'm not saying that I'm am I the, if I may ask you just in the middle of this session, am I the best person, one of the best persons who can read news? I mean, the competition for national television is higher. So in that event, am I the only person? I mean, am I the only one of these 6, 7 persons who are reading the main news at the national television? No. Sometimes I mean, can I have a name? It's like a bit boring, annoying. No, without these names, we have Apurvi Rupa Singh, right? Okay. So Apurvi might be doing better than myself. So why Apurvi is not here? Because Apurvi hasn't applied for any screen tests or proceeded with any sort of thing. I have strived. I have tried for this position. Without letting this thing down, I was following continuously to obtain this, right? That's why I am here, right? Without like letting it down, the continuous working on this, following. When the first screen test is not available with results, I'm just moving ahead the second, then the third. Likewise, I was waiting for this. Otherwise, like if I would have done something, a small application to Rupavahini, I would have still stayed still outside, and you can't even see myself in front of the screen. Someone else has been in my place. This is not keeping someone else away, obtaining someone else's opportunity, but you must strive forward. That's why I am here. That's why some other person might not be here. Their passion might not be this. They can read news, but they don't like to. I I'm not saying that I can read news, but I do. For 7, 8 years, I'm doing this thing, no? Right? And but there might be better people, and we have Dilmika. Dilmika might be better than myself, right? So Dilmika also have to try in the future just to apply and just come out of something and just perform here. That's what you have to do, right? Other than that, like you can, all right, those are the people who are well respected. Only 6, 7 people are reading the main news at Rupavahini, so we can't go there. No, there's nothing like that, right? There's nothing like that. So don't try to imitate yourself. First thing, ඇවිල්ලා අර නිකන් කවුරු කියනවා වගේ කියන්න උත්සාහ කරන්න එපා. Don't try to do that, right? Try to come out of your own. Pronunciation is a must. You must correctly pronounce those words, right? We are not 100% accurate, and on pronunciation we might be also doing some mistakes, but try to be, I mean, simple English you must be able to read, right? Don't try to make I mean, just certain mistakes which are not appreciated, right? පොඩි mistakes ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ, ලොකු ඒවා කරන්න එපා, right? First, as a news anchor or a budding news anchor, I've tried to just address each and every individual here, right? So all these budding presenters or anchors, right? So they must be able to continue smooth, fluent reading, right? If I may have a small document, let's see if I can have something. There is nothing in my vicinity, right? Okay, just to read. Well, no, nothing in close proximity so that I can obtain, right? Just take a piece of newspaper and try to read without mistakes, right? එක දිගට කියවන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ, right? It's not like this. Don't try to stuck your breath inside, like don't try to read in a difficult note, right? Just try to relax, read smoothly, right, like this, right? I would do the introduction for the news, right? Take a good I mean take a good break, right? Okay, right. Okay, hold on, we have a small script, right? Okay, good. Now right, the iconic Lotus Tower in Colombo, Sri Lanka has launched South Asia's first vertical technology exposition, right? That is not a news tone, right? I'm changing my tone, right? The event spans multiple floors and showcases innovations in vertical farming, drone automation, smart architecture, and quantum computing, organized in collaboration with Germany's. Likewise, just try to keep reading, right? Don't consider whether it is the news style or whatever the style. Try to read without mistakes, right? Archaeologists in southeastern Turkey have unearthed new ceremonial structures, right? And like this, take one sentence, right? I would like to read another sentence, right? Okay. These newly discovered megaliths contain intricate carvings believed to depict an early cosmological map, right? Lead researcher Dr. Yella Sahin from the University of Istanbul stated that the symmetrical arrangement of pillars indicates an advanced understanding of astronomical alignment by Neolithical societies. Don't try to do that, right? That is why your lung capacity is to a certain extent. Otherwise you can speak without breathing. You have to breathe. That's why you have to have pauses. I specifically mentioned the first fact. Don't try to imitate someone else. Don't try to read as someone else's do. Try to be with the accurate pronunciation and try to control your breath, right? Try to read smoothly. Try to read maintaining the flow. And the most important thing that I want to emphasize you right now, have appropriate poses, right? Pose, right? These newly discovered megaliths contain intricate carvings believed to depict an early cosmological map. Lead researcher Dr. Leila Sahin from the University of Istanbul stated that the symmetrical arrangement of pillars indicates an advanced understanding of astronomical alignment by Neolithic societies. Right? You can read it like from the beginning, right? The iconic Lotus Star in Colombo, Sri Lanka, has launched South Asia's first vertical technology exposition. The event spans multiple floors and showcases innovations in vertical framing, drone automation, smart architecture, and quantum computing. Organized in collaboration with Germany's Fraunhofer Society and Japan's Riken Institute. Likewise, have specific poses. You can't read everything in a single thing, single stretch, right? It depends on person to person. And thanks the organizers for sharing me with that script, right? They are very quick, right? Even I didn't request them, right? Okay, so try to maintain that flow with proper poses. Otherwise, like people can't understand that. You must break sentences. You must give the forces without harming the idea of the passage. Now, in Sinhala maranna epa nidahas karan, maranna epa nidahas karan, where the full stop lies matters. The idea changes, right? Likewise, you must have a clear, proper idea with what you read. Try to maintain the appropriate poses, then you will be able to obtain something very important, right? And also, as I'm just coming to the latter half of my this workshop like thing discussion, I would like to have some questions from you, right? So the organizers, can you just open the chat box, this meeting chat for each and every student, so that they can drop their messages, right? Even a private message, or even something like public message, or whatever what is applicable. You can just drop to the meeting chat so that I can see and I can answer them at the end of my session. Try to start dropping questions right now so that I can formally end to my time schedule, right? Okay, so now what I want is just to maintain those qualities. Then you will be, scoring well in this competition. And ultimately, with that practice, you might be able to give a better emphasis in your career, right? So when you just read, at least, එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් දෙකක් හරි දාන්න, right? Otherwise, I could give some answers, no? Right. Okay. Now, what I want to tell is that if you are maintaining a good, nice, beautiful flow, whether you do small mistakes, that won't feel much. Otherwise, like if you are lagging and everything, even you are reading correctly, that is not nice. So just try to maintain a proper, a beautiful flow so that you can just give more emphasis to it. Right? Understood? Now, this. I'm just doing this, right? A good breath. And also try to breathe to the stomach, not to the chest, right? You will lose your breath very easily when you're just putting your chest forward, right? Try to breathe it to the stomach. Badata husma gannu, right? Okay. Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast bringing to you live from the national news studios here at Rupavahini. And we are ready to bring you the top stories at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minupurarachi. Everything is in single breath. I'm repeating it again. Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast bringing to you live from the national news studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minupurarachi. I had pauses, but I didn't breathe in because while breathing in, I can't speak. If I'm breathing in, you might see a significant pause with my expressions, and even I can't start at the next time. I would have stayed a couple of seconds or whatever, you will feel that change, right? So, that context you might not be able to do at the very first instance. Just try to practice it a bit more, then you will be able to, right? Okay. Now those days when I was just practicing for these sessions and everything, even not knowing that I'll be facing the Sri Lanka Rupamahani Corporation's screen test, I was practicing in Sinhala, right? I always say this to my when I was doing a workshop, right? What I always say is uh, අයිබෝවන් සත්‍යය මුද්‍රාව. ඔබ ජාතික රූපවාහිනී ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රකාශය සමගින් මම චරිත විනිපුරාරච්චි. ප්‍රථමයෙන් ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ශීර්ෂ පාඨ. Right? So that is like a single breath thing. Right? Repeating it again. අයිබෝවන් සත්‍යය මුද්‍රාව. ඔබ ජාතික රූපවාහිනී ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රකාශය සමගින් මම චරිත විනිපුරාරච්චි. ප්‍රථමයෙන් ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ශීර්ෂ පාඨ. Right? That thing. Single breath. I was not able to do that thing in a single stretch. But I am now easily able to do because I have practiced that thing. Try to do some breathing exercises, try to hold the breath, count a bit more. Likewise, just do some breathing exercises, some breathing practices. So you'll be able to maintain a good uniform flow tone, right? So tone and everything depends on how you speak, the original context that is coming out of you. Smooth reading is a must with appropriate poses, right? With not a hunched attire position, right? It's ugly, no? Just try to be nice, right? මේ මොදේ මමත් මෙහෙම ඉඳගෙන ඔයාලත් එක්ක කතා කරන මෙහෙම මොන හරි එහෙම කරා නම් it's look ugly, right? මෙහෙම ලස්සනට ඉඳලා, right? හොඳ position එකක ඉන්න හැම වෙලේම try to be in a good position, right? That will portray your personality and right. Okay. So those are the insight that I want to share with this limited time period, right? First thing, be neat and nice. Second thing, right? Good pronunciation, good English, good tone, right? Don't try to imitate someone else. The other thing, try to maintain good poses where you stop, and that is important with these breathing techniques. And also, I want to just to mention you, right? Get used with some practices. Watch news. Though if you have a script that is okay, otherwise just try to write what the newsreader says, right? And just practice it in at home, right? I used to do that thing, right? And in Sinhala also, if you are, multilingual is better, right? If you can handle a couple of languages, that is okay, right? Because even I do both Sinhala and English, and even I do Nuga 7 programs to a certain extent. Likewise, I have a small exposure with regard to these multiple programs, religious programs, and everything. So you can just build your caliber, right? In that event. Okay. Just coming a bit towards program presenting, right? Try to be very short in your introductions, right? Because the television station has given you airtime not to talk about you, right? Not to talk something that you are interested. You must just expose your guest what they want to tell. If you are doing a legal discussion, if a lawyer is there, that lawyer has, lawyer is there to explain what is that it is. You must do homework, because now I've observed a very generous gentleman, Kalindu Karunaratne from Derana, TV Derana, right? See how versatile he is, how knowledgeable he is, and even some other colleagues from Rupamahani, they do very well. They have done their homework, right? Study on that and be prepared even to do any last minute thing. That is my advice, right? Okay, so I'll just move on to some questions, right? Okay, What about live news, sir? Anything we should keep in mind even when making the live news? I believe live news is the breaking news, news just in. And when I mix up words and forget in the middle of it, with practice you can be able, right? You must be able to, right? And live news, as in like news is live, that is not recorded, right? Everywhere news is live, right? Certain event that might be recorded but news is live, right? That is the quality and the value of news, right? And if it is a breaking news, you must be able to grab like this, because I'll be sharing one of my experience with you all. uh, it was like only a couple of months that I joined Rupa Vahini. Then the 20th item, I believe, was the sports news, and now the 17th item, the last item of the local news, and 1819 is foreign items, 20th one is sports. I was reading the 17th item, but I noted that the new sports item is not there. So I was just while reading, I was just simply landing over. There are hand gestures, right? So saying that 20th one is not available. The producer understood Malli Nadakole, right? I'm saying no. All right, okay. Then what happened? 18th, 17th one is that no, the news, the local news that I'm reading. 18th one, the female reader was reading the foreign news. The producer was saying, Malime Kolevanna, right? I was saying, it's okay. And the next one.
Can't hear.
So, am I audible? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
All right, okay. So there was no any voice interruption, right? Can I have a response, please?
No, sir.
All right, okay. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Right, okay, thank you. And might be there's a small connection difficulty from the students who request. It might be the live streaming and the YouTube session is also there. So yes, please kindly just proceed with that. So worried that you can't listen live, but might be a technological this thing, right? Okay, so then 18th one, the female reader was reading, 19th one. Then again, I'm reading, right? After I read the introduction part, producer was saying, female reader ke nama කියලා, right? After saying, right, you read the letter part. Message saying, just give me a paper, right? Mali මොනවා හරි කියන්න. That the paper was in Sinhala, right? So what should I do, right? මට බෑ කියන්නද, right? I can't say no, right? I just had to translate it on the spot and read that 2-3 sports segment, right? Those things happen. When you are seated there, you can't say no to anything. You must accept anything, right? Whatever the thing that is happening there, you must accept, right? So the breaking news thing, when you are versatile with the language and everything, when don't get panic, right? Baya වුණොත් මුකුත් කරන්න බෑ, right? Don't get yourself panic and embarrassed. Otherwise, you can't do anything, right? So just try to get prepared yourself for anything, right? Just try to read certain things. Sometimes breaking news, they should give a script, but we can't expect, right? Okay, so you have to practice, then you won't mix up with this thing, right? Okay, so what are the key points when doing a live reporting, and how a program presenting differ from a news reporting? Program is a particular discussion or something like that. If a guest is there, that is a question answer mode. News presenting, you are not just moving ahead with a casual tone. There is a bit of a formal thing, but there are different news styles adopted in different TV stations, right? But still a discussion, right? Don't, like in a written language or whatsoever, don't do discussions. Try to be familiar. I'll just do, right? Whatever the thing, right? Okay. Nina the president. I don't know the name of the president. We'll say, right, Vibhuti Munasinghe, right? I want a very good evening to respected viewers who are watching today's program. So today's exclusive program is about nothing special. Each and every year, this competition has been conducted, a trilingual all-island inter-school media competition from dear Senanayake College. It's none other than Ninnada' 2025. This time is also happening. So students around the country, they participate in workshops, they train themselves, and they are enthusiastically waiting to participate in this competition. So there are numerous categories where students can enhance their skills. So we thought of inviting a very special guest, Vibhuti Munasinghe, the president of Ninnada' 2025 from DS Senanayake College. Hello there, everyone. Right? Okay. Likewise, you can just casually, right? So, Vibhuti, now, what can you say about this year's competition? How is it different from the previous year's competition? And what things are you planning to do afresh? Don't ask 3 or 4 questions at the time, otherwise Vibhuti will mess up everything. She will answer the first question and might ask, can you just repeat the second question? Presenter fails, right? So don't do that. You just ask one question at a time, the most important thing in a casual tone, right? Moving to the next, and live reporting. Live reporting is having a microphone held, right? It's explaining the situation which you are around. Might be like in live reporting also. That was I was saying, like that goes hand in hand. You might be having the opportunity or whatsoever the situation may rise to interview someone else in front of you, right? That is totally different, quite different, right? Right. Okay. So now, right here, I'm in front of the Senanayake College swimming pool complex where a bomb blast has occurred this evening, and we can see the police. Likewise, whatever that you are explaining, and you have the head prefect of the Senanayake College, right? So we have the head prefect. Likewise, you must interview that person. Live reporting is live. You are telling something to the camera. What has happened in that vicinity, what you are attending, right? That is live reporting. We'll be quickly moving to the next. Is there a significant difference when it comes to program presenting and news presenting, right? Programs like individual presenter might presenting some programs, like some patra sirastalo, whatever thing, without a discussion, they might be doing. Those are different styles, right? If in a program that is not basically too much formal like a news, but not too casual, right? Depending on the program, you must change the tone. If it is a religious tone, religious program, Iborn, and today we are going to discuss this insightful topic about nirvana. What is nirvana? That is not working for religious programs. What for a political tone? Now, emphasizing the economic strategies that are implemented in the country. What is the solution that the Minister of Finance can give to the public? Still, the budget is alive. Now, there are many problems related. That is a different tone matching to a political program. But even you can do it in this manner also. Right. Okay. So we have the 2025 budget proposals, and there are numerous things that are coming from the Minister of Finance. So we brought in the Finance Minister to discuss more and emphasize more regarding this topic to the general public. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. That is also different tone. From program to program, tone differs, right? And right. How long should each speech be? Documentary, news reading, and don't term these things as speeches. This is the first thing that you all are doing wrong. Script එක දුන්නහම කතාවක් කියනවා නෙවෙයි. Script, news script is news reading, right? Just read it. Emphasize that you are reading news. Prepare a beautiful introduction, right? Good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. Likewise, let's move on to the headlines. Just read the headlines and news in detail. News in detail. And that's it for tonight. News do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing off with Apurvi. Stay safe. Good night. End. Formally do it, right? Documentary is something very specific. It differs from client to client. If Siddha Lab is giving me a documentary, they are expecting a different thing. Right? Once I remember, Mr. Faisal Bonza was saying, like, no need to have the documentary. Documentary is client specific. If someone is telling me to give me a greater punch, I should increase my base, right? Otherwise, like, it differs. The medical product and the sanitary product or a clothing brand differs, right? So documentary is that, and news reading and live commentary is what I mentioned before. I hope you understood. Then again, do we have to study the news by? No, 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 don't, right? We have a prompter in front, teleprompter, and sometimes the teleprompter is not working, then we just go by the paper, right? Just look at, but don't lose eye contact. You must maintain eye contact while reading. Don't let the viewers feel that he's looking somewhere else, right? Maintain eye contact. That is the most important thing, right? Can you explain a bit about the difference of tone between TV and radio? Yes, TV people can see you, radio people can't see you, right? voice identity is more emphasized in radio presentation, right? Radio, the bass voice is a bit high, right? Why? Because you can't give facial expressions, you can't give the image through the radio, right? Then you have to emphasize more on your voice, because every variation is only from the voice. You can't give visual expressions, you can visualize the person, you have to visualize from your tone, the way you speak, the way you pronounce, and everything, pronunciation, everything should be correct. But I mean, like, the tone is quite a bit different, but not with a greater change. But you must give more. But radio presenting is difficult than television presentation, right? So you must emphasize more, right? What if we make a mistake while reading? If it is a very big mistake, His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena. Now here we have Anurukumar Disanayaka. My apologies, His Excellency the President Anurukumar Disanayaka. You can do like that, right? His Excellency should be addressed to the President, but here in normally Mr. Disanayaka, the President, is not expecting that type of gesture, right? So we say it as President Anurukumar Disanayaka. See, so humble, so he's not trying to have that thing. But in front of a delegation or somewhere on, we have to give him the due respect because he's our president. Likewise, right? Okay. Now, other than a mistake, right? So 2,732 million people. Now, not 32 million, 30 million people. So you can say 2,732 million people, rather 2,730 million people. Just moving smoothly, correct the mistake and go. Right? Moving smoothly and correct the mistake and go. If it is a slight mistake, if you miss a data, even you can edit as a next sentence. If you are not harming the contents of the first sentence, if you lack something, if you forget something to read, then you can go on just adding it as a separate sentence, right? Okay. Otherwise, you can just apologize if it is a big mistake and go. How do we perform during a live program presenting when it comes to politics and bizarre politics, and how do we overcome the fear while presenting? That is, with experience and expertise, you will be able to obtain everything, right? From program to program, the tone and everything differs, right? I just emphasize you different tones with a limited scope, right? That depends on program to program, so you'll be able to change that thing depending on the situation. Answer: if we do have to buy hard the news, why are you by hearting the news? No need, right? What if you make a mistake or forget the lines? What's your news channel and when you are when are you reporting? I'm reading for Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm reading on a roster basis, right? That will be like today I'm reading Channel Live. English news is telecasted in Channel Live because Rupavahini has three channels: Rupavahini, Channel Live, and Netra. Netra for Tamil, Channel Live for English, Rupavahini for Sinhala, but they are merged. Same channel, same station, they are merged because we all are presenters for Rupavahini, right? Okay. And don't try to buy hard the news. If you forget something like this, without harming the context, we have to repeat the same thing, right? Repeat the same thing as in uh, um, give emphasis to that fact and read it as the next line. That, of course, you need to have a greater expertise, so you can look at the paper and read. That is better, right? Okay. Can we show actions? Yes, of course you can. Just don't try to like right? If you're just having a pen, right, you can just keep the pen like this, right? Podi pen in podi monohari, just you can something do something like that, right? Okay. If you want to show your pen, what is the pen? Carbon pen right? Just you can do something with your pen, right? Above which age can join news reading for main news, like just be a bit mature. But there are more opportunities for young students as well, right? At least 20 plus after leaving school, that is good, right? But there might be many opportunities. Just try practicing more and more. If you need to translate or someone else's speech, how should the tone be? You mean up sound and everything, as the case may be, right? Depending on the situation, you must read it in a different context, right? Might be the formal news reading tone or might be a different tone. Don't try to give more casual tone to that, right? Okay. And we have another one. Do we get programs for news reading or presentation? It's the question is not clear, we know. Do we get programs for news, as in like in between news? Sometimes I've been in the competitions, no, I was discussing about the real life situation. For news thing and everything, that is news might be like having some interviews and everything in the middle, right? So that is a different thing, right? Okay, right, okay, can you just tell more about yourself, right? I'm Charita Minipurarachi, that is enough, right? Okay, you watch news Rupavahini, right? So how, right? Okay, so I don't like to even speak about myself, right? Because who am I is not material here. What I can give for you is the most important thing, right? Okay, so I do have a separate profession, but my passion is news reading. I'm involved with something else, but I do read news, I do present programs, I do compare events, I work in as a host, or I mean just do outside events and commercial events as well. I do read news, and I have my own gestures and qualifications, so that things are still lying. So you also can do your studies well, and I mean get a good backbone with education, with a couple of degrees or at least one or whatsoever. Just thrive in the field that you are doing and involved with this, because people, some, I don't have any degree in journalism, right? That I'm a journalist, but by practice, right? I don't have any degrees in journalism. I was just do train to read news, that's it. And my, I mean, proven experience is different. So you can also strive in whatever the field that you want and get into this, because this is not a forum to speak about myself. I'm just doing what is obliged and what is Nina the organizers have asked me to do, right? Okay, that is not being boasting about myself, right? Otherwise I would have speaking something about me that is not matching, right? So do we get programs for news that was the previous question, no? Right, okay. And we have news reporting and news presenting, that is reporting is this live presentation, and reading is this same question, no? Right, all right, okay. As a reporter, you go and report live on camera reporting, and we used to say it as an on camera also. And in news reading, you are just stationed in the news station and just read, right? Okay, so I believe I have answered all the questions except one asking about myself. Are there any other questions? Because 9 p.m. is the news, so I want to travel from my place to Rupavahini as well, right? One last question, if we need to translate someone, yes, that's what I was explaining. If you want to translate someone else's one that has been already translated on the spot, there are no any big things to be translated, but your tone should be appropriate as the case may be, right? Okay, don't try to say, I mean, in a different, more casual tone. Just try to read news as it is, and just emphasize certain important things about the competition. Of course the organizers will brief you, but I'm expecting from you all, if I were to judge and my colleagues were to judge you all, is these skills: pronunciation and the language, the poses, and how you appear. Not like how rich you are, how your family, we don't consider those things. Be neat and nice and pleasant, that will be a good first impression. And also be try to be more genuine in this context. And yes, so that is the thing that I want to mention right now. So any other things, just quickly, if there is one question, I can just move ahead with you all. No, seems that there are no questions, no? Right, okay, so we have the organizers. Can I wind up the session?
All right.
Right. Okay. So I would like to just to suggest the organizers. So if they, I mean, might be like the students having more questions. So if you can collect those questions, and do they have a small group or like a thing you all have
Uh,
created?
we haven't created a separate group for news reading or announcing, but you can drop a message to our coordinators.
All right. Okay. So now each and every students, please let them allowed to ask any question. I mean, whatever that they need, so that I can facilitate you. So you can the my coordinator, I can't remember his name, Sajana. You are Sajana, right? No.
Yeah, Sajana, yeah.
Yes, Sajana.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry, I was not able to recognize. So, Sajana, please let the student ask any question. Just please direct them to me so that you can share those insights with. I mean, don't be specific. You share each and every of my response to everyone. If there is anything any question, so we'll limit that thing for tonight. Like after the session, just give them 1 or 2 hours. Like otherwise, like if they ask a question or somewhere on even right before the competition, I'm helpless. I can't say no, right? But that is not that is beyond the rules and regulations of your competition. No? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sajjana, thank you very much for inviting me. I hope I did a justification for your invitation. And excuse me, and I humbly apologize for being. I mean, I did one now, but I think that I would do something more. I would have done something more if I had some more time, right? So I'll be signing off right now. Thank you very much for inviting me and wishing you all the very best for each and every students who are here. Study well, learn well, get your qualifications and enter the field of media as well, right? Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
And yes, thank you to you as well for taking your time out of your busy schedule and joining with us, sharing your knowledge and expertise with each and every one of us. I believe we got the opportunity to touch the variance in the world of media. And everyone, I wish all the best of luck to each and every one of you for a good competition in Ninnada' 2025. Thank you and have a nice day. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you all have any questions, you can drop them to our coordinators. Yep.